Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, The Little Things Junkie. My name's Jonathan, nice to have you along again. In what's become a bit of a theme for this channel, unfortunately, I'm here to apologise for not having uploaded much recently. Sometimes life just gets in the way. Sometimes, as I'll explain in a moment, I'm my own worst enemy. I'm currently editing two videos about painting this little 1/35th figure from Alpine Miniatures. And I've made such a hash of the narration of it, I've decided to just start again, which has delayed the uploading of those videos. However, I'm kind of halfway through redoing the first video on the face. So with a good wind behind me, I should get that finished very soon and that'll be uploaded. But in the meantime, I thought I'd get myself back in front of the camera and show a couple of things, in fact, three things that I recently purchased from eBay. Now, I'm not a prolific buyer of stuff. I have a reasonably sized stash. For me, it's all I need. Several aircraft and tanks and cars and other things in the stash. But I do like to go shopping, as we all do. I like to browse around on the internet and see what I can find. And I recently found three small but interesting items on eBay, and I thought I'd just put them under the camera and show them to you. And the first of the three pieces, obviously, is from Hornet, but it is not resin heads or a metal figure. It is one of these. And I have to say that until I saw this on eBay, I had no idea Hornet made this. I know they make, well, certainly one other non-figure piece, which is a sort of airborne parachutable container type thing. I forget the name of it, but I had no idea that they made this. No idea who mastered it. I doubt it was Roger Saunders. He's the figure guy at Hornet. But it comes with written instructions, a small schematic at the bottom, and it is of course white metal. I'm not going to get it out of the packet because I'd risk losing some of these smaller pieces. But when I do get around to making it, which hopefully won't be too far in the future, I will certainly give a closer rundown of it. So no idea who was responsible for making this, mastering it. But it looks jolly nice. Now I know Dragon have released this weapon a couple of times in plastic and a couple of boxings, but I thought this would be a nice little challenge doing it in white metal, and I thought it would possibly go nicely with this. It might make a nice, interesting little scene. This towing the gun. Or the rocket launcher rather, maybe one or two figures on a base would set it off nicely. So I think that's probably going to be coming at some time in the future. The second piece is this figure from Chota Saab or Chota Sahib, depending on how you wish to pronounce it. This is now defunct figure line, as you can see from Brighton in the UK. By Sid Horton. Now this figure isn't by Sid Horton, it's by Roger Saunders from Hornet. Now I will get this one out of the box, out of the packet. Let's have a look at it. Now Chota Saab were known for a range of 54mm figures, so say by Sid Horton, and they did a lot of British colonial figures, a lot of American Vietnam War figures, a wide variety, a lot of German World War II figures. But there are four figures in the range that were sculpted by Roger Saunders, and I'm a huge fan of Roger Saunders' work. He did this one. He did this is, I should go back a bit, shouldn't I? This is an ATS lady. From the Second World War. He did a wren from, I believe, the Second World War. I've got it in a box somewhere. And he did a couple of figures, one of Napoleon and another one of a Imperial Guardsman, sort of. And these could be posed either together or separately. Sort of Napoleon pinning a medal on the chest of the Guardsman, or standing there with a pair of with a telescope rather. But anyway, that's by the by. This is the one we're talking about now. And I think this is an utterly charming little figure. So I'm a huge admirer of Roger Saunders' work. and I've been after this for a long time. This figure was eventually absorbed into Hornet's range. Now, I don't know if that happened when Sid Horton died or if it was prior to that, but the four figures that, the two World War II figures, so this and the Wren, were absorbed into Hornet's own line at some point. And I've been looking for these for quite a while. You can either get them as from Chota Sahib or from Hornet. They are rare, they're hard to find, but thankfully I have both of them now. One from Chota Sahib, the other one from the Hornet line. But again, an utterly charming little figure. Even got the stitching down the back of the stockings. And the third piece I bought was this, US Navy pilot in a dinghy from Verlinden. I'm not sure when this was first released. I think it was probably late 80s, early 90s. But I remember at the time looking at it and thinking, oh, that looks like a fun little piece. I mean, not fun for the bloke in the dinghy, of course, but fun for the modeller. Didn't buy it at the time. Again, very hard to come by now. I just chanced upon it on eBay and thought, that looks good. I'll have that. So let's have a look at it. It's been started in as much as it has a light grey primer applied lightly over, or not all of it, over some of it. And there it is, a one piece casting rather of a pilot adrift in his dinghy in the Pacific. Lovely little piece. I've always liked looking at other people's versions whenever I've seen them. And so when I saw this come from eBay, I just had to grab it. Slightly odd. I mean, the arms do look a little maybe long and spindly, but I think it's again another charming little piece, and I look forward to painting this. Going to be a challenge doing water. This is water in the bottom of the dinghy, so it's going to be quite a challenge depicting the colour of the bottom of the dinghy coming up through the water. But well, I'll see what I can do. An interesting thing about Verlinden, on all the resin figures and accessories that they produced back in the day, was that everything had to be designed so it could come out of a one-piece mould. That is a mould that doesn't have any splits in it. So this would have been would have a mould built around it, the rubber poured in on top of it as one piece, and then popped out that way, and then resin poured in and popped out again. And everything that, that's opposed to a mould that is split or has to be cut to allow the parts out. And of course, when that happens, you run the risk of the mould halves misaligning, or even when it's not even halves, just sort of cut, they can misalign, and there can be a casting line visible when the resin piece is pulled out. Verlinden had everything out of one piece moulds, which is why many of his figures have multiple parts. So maybe each leg may come in two parts, an upper leg and a lower leg with the boot, and same with arms and torsos and heads and all the rest of it. The negative of that is that, of course, there are many pieces to assemble. The positive is that every single part is pristine and clean without any kind of mould parting line at all. And it's a shame that maybe other manufacturers don't do that, because even modern ones, I've had a few that have got quite some awful parting lines on them, but not in the good old Verlinden range. The quality of sculpts in the Verlinden range were variable, I think it's fair to say, but this one is fine. It's fine, and I'm glad to have it in my stash. And I'm looking forward to painting it. Now, incidentally, we've had a connection with Roger Saunders from the first two pieces, the sculpt of the ATS girl and the ownership of obviously Hornet, who made the little rocket launcher. But there's a link to Roger Saunders with this figure as well. It was, of course, made by Verlinden, and Roger Saunders back in the day made a few pieces for Verlinden. So little heads that we're familiar with in resin from the Hornet range. Here we have some metal heads by Roger Saunders that were in the Verlinden range. So the three pieces I purchased from eBay, not by any intent on my part, all have a link to Roger Saunders. Well, that's the three of them. I find them particularly interesting. I do hope you do too. So thank you for watching along. I will endeavour to get those two figure painting videos up very, very soon. In the meantime, Please enjoy your modelling as I enjoy mine. Bye.